Who knew about the narcissist before you? Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So this is the age-old question. Who knew about the narcissist before you figured it out? There is a very long list of people who knew who that person was that you're considering way before you knew who they were. Now let's go back to the immediate family of the narcissist. Do these people know that the narcissist is a narcissist? In this day and age, they quite possibly could. At the very least, those people know that the person you're considering has challenges, and I'm being very polite with my words, meaning they can't emotionally regulate themselves. Things seem to always go sideways. They are probably moving from apartment to apartment or job to job, or they can't keep a job, or they're looking for money from someplace, or things always seem to break in their life, or they can't maintain a curriculum in university. Whatever it is, things are always being disrupted because there's a black cloud that surrounds the narcissist, and you are encapsulated in that black cloud with them. But going back to the immediate family, I created this video in 2021, and the title was something, if not these exact words: does the immediate family of the narcissist know? The truth of the matter is, you will find out more and more that in fact they did know. Now, did they know that the person you're considering is a narcissist? Possibly, probably not, but possibly. But they did know that that person was different. They also knew that that person needed a special individual to tame them, or to keep them satisfied, or to satiate them, or to calm them, or to soothe them, or to be the person who would be there for them for a period of time, as long as the immediate family didn't have to do that. Remember, the immediate family, many times of the narcissist, is toxic. Not always, but many times they are. And what they do is they swarm around in that beehive mentality. They all share a brain, if you will, and they all disrupt each other's energy, and they always throw each other under the bus. And one day you are being praised, the next day it's someone else, the next day they're being peppered, the next day it's a circus of abuse in the household of the narcissist. Now, by no means am I saying that everybody in the family of the narcissist is a narcissist, not even close. There are kind, loving people, I am certain, that are in those families as well. You may beg to differ on that part, but what I'm sharing is the immediate family of the narcissist knew that the person you're considering was not stable and definitely not healthy, and that they would be disrupting your life once you got too close to them. Now, think about this for a minute. One of the big secrets of narcissism is that the people that know that the narcissist is in their immediate family, usually they cover for the narcissist. They're not going to shout out from the rooftops when you started dating that person that you're thinking about that, hey, be careful, that person's a narcissist. I don't think I would be dating them. They're not going to do that. Why? Well, because it's not their place to do it, but also because they don't want to be the next target, and also because they may be saying in their own little mind, wow, this one, which was your ex, finally found someone who is stable, healthy, loving, empathetic, kind, committed, and actually cares about my brother or sister, my daughter or son, whomever. Let them go for a ride for a while. And maybe, just maybe, the narcissist won't be as bad to them. Well, we now know that the narcissist destroys every relationship that they become a part of. And it's no different with their siblings, their parents, their spouses, their romantic relationships, their friends, their besties, and everybody in between. So the immediate family of the narcissist, from my vantage point, and I said this almost 5 years ago, and I'll say it again, they did know. And I can prove this to you right now. Think about one thing. When the discard took place, meaning when you were discarded, did anybody from the immediate family of the narcissist reach out to you? Maybe not the same day, but let's say a couple weeks or months or maybe years later. No, they didn't. Now that should tell you an awful lot right there. Let's say, as an example, that you were married to the narcissist, and you didn't have to be, but say you were. Say you were with them for 5, 10, 30 years. Well, then when that discard took place, the immediate family members of the narcissist, they usually go radio silent, and it's kind of a strange experience to go through, and yes, I did go through it, because you would be expecting loyalty from those people. You would be expecting discovery from those people, meaning calling you and saying, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? I'm hearing some things, and I don't know what it is, but I'd like to hear your side of the story. They didn't do that. And they won't do it because they don't want to be targeted, number one. Number two, they have their own lives. Number three, they were probably in awe or shocked because you made it that long in the relationship. Now, those people are never going to tell you that, but this is probably what some of them are thinking. because they grew up with the narcissist and they experienced toxicity themselves. And maybe some of those people are narcissists themselves. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is this, is when the immediate family of the narcissist unloads the narcissist on somebody else, meaning the narcissist moves in with someone else or marries them or falls in love or whatever, and the narcissist can't fall in love but fakes love, well, then that immediate family at times is exhaling, saying, whew, we don't have to deal with them for another couple months, maybe a couple years, I don't know, but that's not our problem any longer. Now, that's what many people may be saying in their minds. Are they going to verbalize that? No, they're not. And these are just a couple examples down the avenue of exploration that I go down every single day. You see, it starts with one person, and the person is the narcissist. That's who you have to figure out how they did what they did, how they could do what they did, how they didn't care about you. They didn't love you because they have no care or no love at all, and all they want to do is use, abuse, and manipulate people. When you understand that person and you figure out what narcissism is, then you inevitably go down the rabbit holes of education and exploration about other people. Usually you start with your own immediate family and you process and understand and dissect your own siblings, your own parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, etc. And then you go back to your friends, then you go to your teachers, then you go to your other romantic relationships, and not specifically in this order, but it's pretty close. And then you go down to other avenues. Oh, who's the person at the coffee shop? That person's a little strange. Or who's the person who keeps saying hi to me in the elevator? They seem like a nice person. Then you figure out who is who. And that's why you're getting the wisdom. That's why you're applying the tools. And you're realizing that not everybody is built the way you're built, and that on this planet called Earth, there is narcissism and there's empathy, polar opposites of the spectrum. You're the empath, so am I. And if you think it doesn't exist, please get a clue. Empathy exists. It's coming more and more to the forefront each and every day. More and more people are being proud that they're an empath. They can say it now with a big boost in their voice instead of kind of being like, yeah, I'm an empath and I hope no one abuses me or takes advantage of me. That's a little difficult pill to swallow. But again, I've been an empath my whole life. And was I taken advantage of? Yes, I was. Did I ever know that other people didn't think the way I thought? No, I didn't. But do I know it now? Yes, I do. Now, having said that, the people who knew before you knew, who knew who the narcissist was before you. I talked about the immediate family, and I can lecture on that for weeks straight without needing anything other than a couple hours sleep and bottles of water. But other people, think about this one. This is a pivotal one that you probably haven't thought of before, or maybe you have, but maybe you didn't give it much attention. The narcissist's former romantic relationship, or plural, relationships, whoever those people were, I can assure you, some of them maybe, keyword is maybe knew that your ex or the person you're considering was the narcissist. Now, way back when, before the internet and the smartphones, we didn't know the education. We didn't have it nearly as apparent or in front of us as we do now. So maybe some of those people don't know, but I can tell you in this day and age, the ex relationships of the narcissist, more and more people are beginning to put two and two together. They're beginning to connect the dots. So the former romantic relationship before you encountered the narcissist, that person may have known that that person was a narcissist. I can assure you one thing. They knew that the person you're considering had a lot of problems. They had a lot of imbalances, that they couldn't regulate themselves and they would throw temper tantrums, and that they would throw rage fits and it would never be good enough. Now, I just use a bunch of layman terms because I'm not putting my narcissistic hat on for that part of the video, but what I'm sharing is people before you met the narcissist, specifically in the romantic arena, they knew. They knew exactly because they had been burned themselves before. And those people didn't have to be in relationships as long as you were. It could have been one date. It could have been a couple dates. It could have been roommates for a couple weeks. It could have been anything. Maybe the two of them just decided to go on a vacation for someone's beach house for a couple weeks and they had enough of that. I can't tell you exactly, but what I can tell you is that person or those people may have figured it out. Other people who knew who the narcissist was before you were most likely the people that the narcissist, if they kept a job, the people that the narcissist worked with. Now, the narcissist may own their business, they may be an employee, they may be a partner, I can't tell you. Most likely they're not working because these people are parasites and they just want to live off other people's money and income. And what does the narcissist love more than money? You got it, they love your money more than money. But if the narcissist was able to hold down a job, no matter what kind of job it was, I can assure you they were peppering other people with abuse, or they were smearing them, or they were trying to climb up the corporate ladder using any shortcut possible. And they were trying to drive wedges between anybody and anybody or anything that would interfere with their pay raise or with their climb to authority, if you will. So those people, I can assure you, they figured out, again, that something was off with the person you're considering. Now, I'm going to fast forward. In this day and age, do most people know what narcissism is? No, they don't. You may think they do. They don't. They're using it as a buzzword. Way back when, I'm talking 50 years ago, 40 years ago, there were things called, there were fads. What a fad was, F-A-D, that was when something grabbed the nation or the world by storm and everybody was doing it. So a fad would be starting with, let's say in the 50s, there was a hula hoop. That was the fad or the craze. And then later came the pet rock. Then later came the Rubik's Cube and so on. Okay, whatever. Now you know Furbies. If you remember what a Furby is, you probably do. Having said those things, is narcissism a fad? No, but it's a buzzword. So a lot of people are claiming that they know what narcissism is, but they're overusing it. I know it because I lived it firsthand for years. You know it because you lived it for as long as you lived it. But you and I take the word narcissism or narcissist very seriously because our lives were blown up. They were turned inside out. They were disrupted. And we were taken advantage of and abused and manipulated. But your average person, they may know or have heard of what the word is, but do they actually know what it is? They don't. Now, do I wish they would actually learn the way I learned? No, I don't. I wish narcissism would be eradicated on the planet, not the people, but the behavior. But that's not going to happen today. So in the interim, we're going to have to continue to maintain our boundaries, go no contact, block these people, delete them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. And we're going to have to understand and recognize that many people knew who the narcissist was before we did. Another example I will share with you. Think about the childhood friends of the narcissist, those alleged besties, wink, wink, or the high school friends that seem to bubble up in the background or lurk around, or those little strange groups or bubbles of people that the narcissist enlists and has subservient to them or is a part of them. Did those people know who the narcissist was? Yes, they did. Absolutely, they did. Did they know the term narcissist? I can't tell you. What I can tell you is they knew that the narcissist was, number one, a low vibrational creature. Number two, they wouldn't keep their word. Number three, they lied. Number four, they were loyal to nobody. Number five, or whatever letter I'm on, that they cared about nobody and that they just continued to go any which way the wind blows, because some of those people had either A, been burned by the narcissist, helped the narcissist burn other people, or watched the narcissist burn other people. And when those people, the enablers, flying monkeys, who are just as toxic as the narcissist, for this example, when those people were watching the narcissist and how they destroy people's lives, they were learning themselves and they were saying, wow, I hadn't thought of that technique. That's a genius idea. I'm going to use that. I'm going to abuse my husband or my wife that way. Good call. Now, are they going to share stories? Maybe, can't tell you. What I can tell you is every time the narcissist has to disappear from a loving, kind, stable, healthy person like yourself, this is when you were in the relationship, and they claim they just need a girl's weekend away or a guy's weekend away. Well, what were they doing? You know what they were doing now. They were either grooming a new source of supply, they were unplugged in some flea bag motel, just screaming at the walls and just trying to let all the angst and the anxiety out so you didn't have to tolerate it for one weekend. Or C, they were holed up with their buddies, with their chums, with the other toxic people, swapping stories, exchanging, manipulating techniques, figuring out where to hide money, how to drag out the legal system, who the lawyer is who will turn a blind eye, which judge will not do anything other than drag out the system longer and longer. You see, this is what the narcissist does. The narcissist is in bed with everybody. And the narcissist knows that they can get whatever they want from anybody they want to, as long as they have access or have something over them. And what the narcissist holds over people, many times it's information. Many times it's knowing what that person's vulnerabilities are or weaknesses, or knowing something about them. But who knew the narcissist? Who knew that the narcissist was who they were before you? That's a long list of people. Think about, one more time, I'll go back to the ex of the narcissist. Not you, but the other ex, whoever they were, or the exes. Think about what they did with their life post-relationship. If you know what they did, okay. If you don't, you shouldn't want to know, because those people should be living their life and you should not have one thing to do with them. But let's say you do know. I'm certain a couple things. Those people have either found love again and they're living their best life. B, they've been in relationships themselves and been blowing up relationships. Or C, they probably went off the grid. Now I'm going to focus on all three of those for a quick moment. I'm referring to the ex of the narcissist, not you. If they went out and found love again, what does that tell you? most likely that person was a kind, loving, stable person. And they met your ex, and that ex of yours and theirs tried to destroy their life just like yours. But what happened is the person that I'm talking about, the ex of the narcissist, they found love again, and they're probably have kids and living their best life, and because they figured things out and they found a good partner. That's an example. It's a possibility, not a probability, but it's a possibility. Another possibility would be that the person disappears and goes off the grid. If they go off the grid, then that is akin to probably what you're doing or what I'm doing, which means this: you have healed or you're healing. And if you want to go back out and date, you can, but you're in no rush to do it because you now understand all the different components of humanity and how narcissism is on one end and empathy is on the other. And you now have the superpower. So maybe you're not in such a rush to go out and start dating. You're healing. You're working on yourself. And you're understanding that, yeah, you can do what you want, when you want, and how you want to do it, as long as you are away from the narcissist. And the third example there would be if the person who was the narcissist's ex before you, let's say that they married a couple other times and those relationships never worked out. Well, you should know this by now. What's the common denominator? It's the narcissist's ex, which means that person most likely was just as toxic, maybe even worse, as your ex, the narcissist. I hope you're following along here. So everything has multiple outcomes, and everything isn't how it appears to be on the planet. And one thing is for certain, post-narcissistic relationship, once you really see clearly that many people knew who the narcissist was before you did. Did they know what the term was? Probably not. In this day and age, possibly. But they knew that that person had a lot of baggage, a lot of red flags, and that they were looking to glom on to somebody, and that somebody turned out to be you. That person will never, and I mean never, be you again, because now you have boundaries. Now you know how instrumental no contact is, and now you know that you come first, second, and third, and you are the priority. Now, what happened in the past, you leave in the past. You don't dwell in the past. You don't stay stuck in the past. You take those lifelong learning lessons from the past. You don't predict the future, and you live in the present moment. The present moment is where the abundance happens. That's where you can hear a beautiful bird chirping and saying hello, just like that. And that's when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, travel the world, fall in love, and do whatever you want to do. But until you heal and heal properly and reach the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference, you'll have more dissecting to do, more unearthing, more uncovering, more discovery. And you will figure out that a lot of people knew who the narcissist was way before you did. And I can assure you one thing, not one person told you what you were about to enter, who the person was, what they were capable of, or that your life was about to go down a very, and I mean very, dark road. Think about what I'm mentioning. Remember, I shared with you earlier, and I've done this for years on the channel. Everything isn't how it appears to be on the planet. Everybody isn't who they appear to be on the planet. The narcissist is everywhere. You have the wisdom. You need to maintain no contact. You need to understand there are so many things you will never know. So many things I'll never know. And many things that you've discovered should be enough to keep you, to give you closure if you've healed or if you're healing. And then all the other things that you'll never know the answers to, you need to leave them in the past, because the past is just that. It's the past. And once you heal, you will close the chapter of the book on the narcissist forever, once and for all. It will never be reopened again. And you will be free. You will be liberated, and you will be in that high vibrational state at the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. A couple things real quick. One, many people knew who the narcissist was before you met them. Number two, I can assure you nobody told you who they were. Number three, some of those people were afraid of being targeted. Number four, other people sat back and grabbed their popcorn and said, yep, this is going to be fun. I have a real empath, which is you, and it definitely is me, matching up with a apex predator, a parasite, the narcissist, and let's grab our popcorn and see how this unfolds, because it's going to go sideways eventually. But I can sit back and get a free show. Other people did that. You may think they didn't. They did. A lot of people did that. And then other people were thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, finally somebody who can get this person out of my house. And it's gonna be their problem for a while, and let's see how long they last. Tough pills to swallow, but it's real. You see, the narcissist is nothing but a big walking problem. They're nothing but a big puzzle. They're nothing but a big conundrum. They are nothing but a big bottomless pit, a huge void, if you will, that must be satiated and must be filled with supply. You are not supply. You are a beautiful, bright, shining light, and you shine higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars, and everything in between. So recognize that many people knew who the narcissist was before you knew. The good news is that now you know, and once you know, you go. Maintain your boundaries, maintain no contact. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye. And the spring is almost here. Bye.